This is Embrace Your Inner Boldness, a podcast about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. I'm Melissa Henning Frank, coach, guide, and founder of Becoming Bold. I help you strip away the conditioning, reclaim your voice, and rise into the power that's always been yours. Let's get right to it. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm so glad you're here today because I want to talk about something that I think about constantly in my coaching work, and honestly in my own life too. I want to talk about what's actually possible when you stop tolerating your frustrations and start addressing them. There's a version of your life on the other side of that shift that most people never get to see. And it's not because it's too far out of your reach. It's because nobody ever showed you how to get there. So that's what today's episode is all about. And before we get into it, I want to give you a little behind the scenes peek at something I've been building because it connects directly to everything we're going to talk about today, but more on that in a minute. So let's talk about the problem that we normalize. I want to start by saying something out loud that I think most of us do without even realizing it. We get really, really good at managing our frustrations. We learn to just push through them or work around them or sweep them under the rug or overcompensate for them. We develop these coping strategies that help us function even when something is clearly draining us. And over time, we start to mistake that functioning for being fine, in quotes. But here's what I want you to really consider with this. There is a difference between managing a frustration and actually addressing it. And most of us have been doing the first one for so long that we've forgotten that the second one is what will really set us free. So think about the frustration that you've been carrying the longest. The one that shows up in different situations with different people in different seasons of your life, but it always freaking feels the same. Maybe it's a feeling of being overlooked, or of giving more than you get, or of saying yes when you mean to say no. Maybe it's that low-grade resentment that builds up quietly until something small sets it off, and suddenly it's not small anymore. That right there is not just a frustration. It's a pattern, and patterns have roots. They come from somewhere, and the root is where the real work lives. So let's talk about what that shift actually looks like. So what does it look like when someone actually addresses the root instead of just managing the symptom? I want to paint you a picture because I think sometimes we need to be able to see the other side before we can believe it's real or possible. So imagine waking up and not immediately bracing for the same old issue that you've been dreading. That relationship that used to drain you before you even walked in the door. It's different now, and it's not because the other person changed, but because you did. You stopped absorbing what wasn't yours to carry in the first place. You figured out what you actually needed, and you found the courage to say it out loud, and everything shifted from there. Imagine being in a meeting or a difficult conversation or a moment that used to send you straight into your old default response, the one that you always regret later, and instead you pause. You actually pause and you choose differently because you've done the work of understanding where that default response came from and you've built a different one, a better one. So imagine moving through your days without that nagging hum of low-grade resentment or self-doubt running in the background because you've built a relationship with yourself that's grounded in trust instead of criticism. You know how to see your own patterns clearly without making yourself the villain. You know how to interrupt them without burning everything down. That's what I'm talking about when I say there's a shift. That is what's on the other side. And I want to be really clear about something. This is not a destination that you arrive at and you stay there forever. It's a way of operating. It's a set of tools and a willingness to keep using them, even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable. In my coaching work, I've noticed that when someone really does this work, like really get invested in it, when they get serious about identifying and eliminating the patterns that are draining them, three things shift pretty consistently. The first thing that changes is how you see yourself. You stop relating to your own behavior as something to be managed or something to be ashamed of, and you start relating to it as information. Every reaction, every trigger, every moment where you showed up in a way that you didn't love, it's all pointing to something. And when you learn to read that, you stop being at war with yourself. The second thing that changes is your relationships. And this one surprises people because sometimes they come in thinking that the work is mostly internal. And it is mostly. But when you stop recycling the same patterns, the people around you feel it. The dynamics shift because you started responding differently, and then they benefit from that too. And over time, that changes all the things around you. The third thing that changes is your confidence. And I want to be specific about what I mean here because I'm not talking about the kind of confidence that depends on everything going perfectly right. I'm talking about the kind of confidence that comes from knowing you've done the hard things and you've come out the other side. It's the kind of confidence that comes from trusting yourself to handle what comes up because you've built the tools to actually do that. That confidence doesn't waver when life gets difficult. It's more embedded than that, and you might not even noticing it because it's just your new default. It's your programming now because you did all that work. Here's the behind the scenes piece that I mentioned at the top. I've been building something called the Becoming Bold Bootcamp, and it's built entirely around this work. It's 6 weeks, self-paced, and designed to help you identify and eliminate the energy leaks that keep draining you. It helps you interrupt the patterns that you keep recycling, so you can build the kind of bold life that actually reflects who you've decided to be. Week 1 is recorded and ready right now, and I'm opening up access to a small group of people who want to go through it first for free and tell me what's resonating and what they want more of before the full course goes live to everybody. So if today's episode sparked something in you, and if you heard yourself in any part of what I described, this is worth checking out. The link is in the show notes, and you can get on the wait list. You can try week 1 for free and see for yourself what this work actually feels like. Here's what you need to consider. You don't get to the other side just by thinking about it or wishing for it. You get there by doing the work, and that's what this course is designed to help you do. I've been feeling a lot of gratitude lately for the people who trusted me enough to do this work alongside me. My coaching clients, the women in our community, the people who showed up even when it was uncomfortable. Watching somebody actually break a pattern that they've been carrying for years is one of the greatest privileges of this work. And building a course that makes that accessible to more people, that is something that I'm genuinely proud of. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for taking your boldness seriously. Until next time, please be kind to your mind. That's it for today's episode of Embrace Your Inner Boldness. If this stirred something in you, don't let it fade. Screenshot this episode, tag me at Becoming Bold LLC, and share it with someone else who's ready to rise. And hey, if you haven't already, take a second to subscribe, rate, and review the show. That's how we spread the boldness and keep this movement growing. Whatever came up for you today, feel the fear and do it anyway. You don't need to wait for perfect timing or permission. You are powerful. You are ready. And remember, the only limit to your boldness is the one you set for yourself. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and keep becoming you.